Hi, welcome to using Pleak. In this video we'll look at the Pleak interface and the different analyses that it can run. So in the beginning you have a chance to create new files or folders. If you create a new model, for example, let's call it test, you see that the name of the model appears in your model listing. Clicking on the name of the model opens the Pleak modeling tool, and if you open a new model, then every time, if you open an empty model, then you have a choice to either import a PPMN file that you have created in, for example, some other tool, or export it from Pleak, or you can start from scratch and create the new model in Pleak. So choosing Create Model gives you the model link panel where you can drag and drop different PPMN elements to create your first model, and so on. And of course you can save it. It also gives you the possibility to export this model either as a PPMN file or SVG file. Once you have your model drawn, you probably want to use it in some of the Pleak editors. So one way to do it is to go from the Change Editor button and choose the editor that you want to use. Another way is to, if you have already an existing model, then you can also open the editor that you want from the menu in the file listing. In addition to opening a model, you can of course do some file operations, just as copying the model or moving it into a subfolder or deleting it. And then we have also options to share or publish the model. Publishing allows you to create the public link that you can share with anyone, who then can see the model and all the editor views and run all the analysis without having an account to Pleak. On the other hand, if everything you share to publish is a read-only view. If you want to share this model with some of your project members, then you can use share with and input their Pleak username or the email address they use for Pleak, and then either choose whether you want to add them to view or edit rights. All the models that somebody else has shared with you appear under the Shared tab. So currently we are in My Models tab. I click on the Shared tab and I can see that there are some models shared with this particular account. So the modeling tool itself is straightforward in the sense that it supports most of the elements in PPMN, at least the common ones. However, the editors that we have are Pleak specific and give you interfaces to different analyses, so privacy analysis that Pleak can run. So Pleak specific things are our composition modeler, then the sensitivities editor, PPMN and Lixman editor, and the guessing advantage editor. So in short, composition modeler is kind of a copy-pasting tool for PPMN models. So what it allows you to do is to merge many models together into a big one. For example, it can be used if you have different sub-processes that you have modeled, but for privacy analysis you want to consider them as one big process. So that's something where we already assume that you have the models. But for all of these analyses, we assume that you have used the modeling tool to create the model, and then you can enhance them somehow. So composition modeler allows you to put many models together. Essentially it's important so that you can draw manageable models and then only stitch them together for analysis. Then we have the PPMN and Lixman editor. So this editor allows you to add information about privacy enhancing technologies, and then also to specify computation scripts on the tasks to do qualitative data analysis, so to learn conditions under which data may leak. So sensitivities editor and guessing advantage editor both work based on what we call SQL workflows or PPMN model, where the tasks have been specified using SQL scripts and data has been specified using database schemas. And for some of these analyses also the actual data tables are included. So in sensitivities analysis, the analysis result will tell you the sensitivity of the whole workflow, meaning that if you change, it measures what happens in the output of the workflow if you change the input data by some unit. For example, you add or delete a row or change some value in the input tables. And the guessing advantage analysis, that is an extension to sensitivity analysis that instead of a sensitivity allows you to ask questions about if a party sees this output of a workflow, then how much does their ability to guess some properties about the input data improve thanks to seeing this. So all these different analyses differ in which kind of models they support, what kind of analysis they give access to, and of course also what kind of inputs they need. So if you look at the structure of the editors and which kind of analysis there are, then for BPPM and the Lixman editor, on one hand we have the BPPM analysis that are all analyses based on privacy enhancing technologies. And then we have Lixman analysis where we have two separate versions of it. One is also based on SQL and the other one is based on our own pseudocode. But in both cases, the Lixman analysis gives you a description between data dependencies between how the input data object of a process affect the output data objects of a process. And in BPPM analysis, we can analyze, well, data dependencies based on the graph of the model and also then disclosure based on the privacy technologies. So figure out which data is seen by which parties in the process. So in the sensitivities editor, we have actually a couple of different sensitivities analyses in there that differ in how the sensitivity is defined and also in terms of what kind of inputs they need. So for derivative sensitivity and combined sensitivity, and yeah, then we have the guessing advantage editor that only has the guessing advantage analysis in it. And also in this quick guide page in Pleak Wiki, you can find a table that summarizes which kind of inputs and models are supported by each of the tools. So for example, BPPMN and SQL models support the PPMN collaboration models, whereas sensitivity only supports one-party process and guessing advantage may support either collaborations or one-party processes and so on. This page also summarizes some of the restrictions that the model has to satisfy for the analysis to work, but for more details about any of the concrete analysis, it's usually best to look at the wiki page of that analysis to see the most up-to-date and detailed information that there is.